I want to add more context to the whole decision of living in grandma's house or living with family, period, right? You can replace grandma's house with auntie, with uncle, with your parents. Specifically for millennials or any generation, it may be a good strategic investment to do this for a period of time, especially with the economic situation that the world is in right now. Could be a very strategic opportunity. Move in with some folks, save some money, and then buy and invest later on. And I say that because, according to it was an article written on CNN, Black millennials are spending about 30% of their income on just rent, right? So you make $100,000 a year, $30,000 is going towards rent,
Mm.
which, as y'all know, is you don't get that back.
Right.
It's not tax deductible, so that's just money being gone,
And it's
right?
not going towards ownership in
And it's
anything
not going
unless you have a rent to own situation. But
exactly, right. So if you're spending 30% of your income every single month on just renting, you still need to pay utilities, you still have renter's insurance, you still have groceries. So you're probably spending a close to 50, 60, maybe even 70% of your check on just your needs and necessities and what you need to survive, right? So you have a limited number of how much funds can go towards saving and actually investing. And that's what living in grandma's house when we were in right after college allowed me to do. Right, my first job, I started working the IE, started living at grandma's house, and I was paying a little bit of rent, but I was able to stack up. And then years later, we were able to buy our first condo because of the money that we were both able to save living in grandma's house right after graduation.
that was an absolute game changer for me. My life would look probably a lot different right now if I was not able to live at Nana's house. Because I did right out of college get a job in the Bay Area. So I worked in Oakland. And if you know anything about the Bay Area, it is one of the most expensive real estate markets in the world. And so I was able to stay at Nana's house and stack up. Whereas with the job that I was able to get, it was cool. It was a cool paying job, right? I definitely was blessed to have it,
Mm,
but it was not like it was not
balling.
it was not a ball, and it was not a tech type salary job to where I would have been struggling if I had to pay rent in the Bay Area and also survive.
Yeah,
It would have been very hard. So I was able to stack up a large amount of money while living in the Bay Area, which is rare.
yeah,
So yeah, that was definitely a game changer for me as well.
right. And I think to the credit of the Black millennial tribe out there, right, shout out to us. I think a lot of folks are having the same mindset we have
Mhm.
because Black home ownership in general in 2019 was at 43.4%, while white home ownership was at 71%, right? So again, big discrepancy there. But for some reason, this is interesting. During the pandemic,
Mhm.
2020, we saw a spike in Black millennial home ownership specifically,
Mhm.
which I attribute to folks like Earn Your Leisure, folks like Social Proof Podcast, folks like the M4 podcast, which we weren't M4 back then. But I think there's been a wave of financial literacy. There's been a wave of ownership, and there's just so much content out there now to where it's like you can't say you didn't know.
Right.
Now you cannot say you didn't know about
Right.
home ownership at this point because there's so much information, and Black millennials are taking advantage of that.
Yeah.
To where in 2020, Black home ownership spiked up to 46.4%.
Nice.
3% increase 1 year, largely because of Black millennials doing their thing. So
Let's go.
again, shout out to y'all. This is not a bash on anybody. This is just kind of a reaffirmation,
Affirmation.
reaffirming.
Sure.
We make up words here. We ain't worried about Merriam, all right? Um, but this is this reaffirming the importance of it. One more kind of a little bit of a pivot, but still within why it's important not to sell grandma's house, right? One path why you shouldn't sell grandma's house is because it's a way, kind of a safe haven for you or for other generations to live in.
Mhm.
Pay a little bit of rent, right? No free stuff. Pay a little bit of rent, but be able to essentially stack up
Mhm.
and then eventually either invest money into their own business, which is something we've been able to do, or invest money into buying their own home
Right.
after living grandma's house or parents' home. Thank you for supporting the M4 show and our mission to increase the wealth of Black families.
If you received any value from this episode, any value at all, any, do us a favor and give us a like and subscribe on YouTube and Apple, Spotify, anything, all of them, all of them, wherever you're listening. Go ahead and like and subscribe.
And after you like and subscribe, make sure you send this episode to at least one family that you really want to see win. We'll catch y'all next time.